Hello everyone, welcome to another motovlog on my channel. My name is Marshall3498, and today's motovlog is going to be something like it usually is in my channel, motorcycle related, and that is an update of the vlog I just uploaded not very long ago. That was talking on 421 about some exciting things I was going to do, and that time has come and passed, and that was when I went on the Yamaha Demo Ride. I met Cave Troll and his wife up there, and he went on one demo ride with me that a bike he was interested in, and I went on 3 that day. This is kind of a rant video, so please don't hate me in the comments, but this just kind of irks me a little bit. Let me start out with the positives, I guess, and then I'll go into the negatives of the day. Yamaha, you know, I'm a fan of Yamaha products. I've had 4-wheelers, Yamaha jet skis growing up, all that stuff. They make some great stuff at a good value, I think, for what you get. The reliability is exceptional. Fit and finish is really good. They're just, you know, yes, there's better bikes out there for probably more money on, you know, whatever particular model and class of bike you're looking at. But I think for the money, value per dollar, and you know, they probably don't hold their resale value as good as some bikes do, like BMWs and Harleys and stuff. But you know, you get good value for your money. But the rant's not really about what the bikes, you know, their pros and cons are as a brand. Luckily, I had good weather that day. As of filming this, it was just a few days ago. This is Sunday, and I went up to Cherokee, North Carolina. They're having their big Blue Ridge run again, second time. And main reason I went up there is not really for the rally and all the tent stuff and the touristy stuff that they were selling on the inside and the live band and blah, blah, blah. Main reason I went up there is because Yamaha Demo Rides are hard to come by in my area. I went to 2 last year. I went to one in Sevierville exit right there in Kodiak, Tennessee, and I went to another one at Blue Ridge Run first week of September of last year. Yamaha does an exceptional job on putting on their demo rides. They always have good routes, you know, as far as mix of kind of more highway speeds and back road stuff. That way you get a good feel of the bike that you're interested in, or a bike you just like to ride that you know, that's not really what you like, just to see what it's all about. They do a really good job on, you know, like, you know, not only the, you know, the escort and the tail behind. They're always super courteous. The people who check you in are always very professional and all that stuff. But, you know, I myself, I'm interested in the sport touring class. So I rode 2 sport touring bikes. I rode the FJR twice because that's really what I want, let's be honest. And I rode the new Tracer GT. I'll kind of do a recap, so to speak, of what I thought about the bikes after I tell you all about the negative. So apparently I didn't know this. I figured it was just usual Yamaha stuff when you show up, you know, must have your own motorcycle gear, etc., etc. So I get there and I get checked in and I get my time filled out, you know, and I tell them what I want to ride. And then I get ready to start putting my helmet on. And one of the guys that helps, leads, or follows demo rides, he's seen me putting my GoPro on my helmet, and he proceeds to tell me that Yamaha no longer allows any type of video recorded on the demo rides. And I was like, well, that's a bummer. So I went on about it, you know, didn't really get upset about it or get mad or anything. It is what it is. If you want to ride something, you can't have it on there and record it, whatever. So, you know, like I said, it really kind of irks me. I was not aware of that going in. I would have went up there anyway, just because there was a couple different bikes I wanted to ride. I'd already rode the FJR last year and was thoroughly impressed with it and wanted to ride it again. And I ended up riding it first time, then the new Tracer GT, and the third one. And they had a great route planned, you know, some back roads, some kind of like 4-lane stuff like this, a little bit of a good mix. Some pretty good curvy couple roads in it. They're pretty tight and technical. That wasn't the issue. My issue is why is that not allowed? Yamaha is missing out for even small motovloggers like me. Like my FJR review from last year, I think it's something about 11,000 views in a year. Well, that's free advertising for them. You know, it's not a press review. It's my personal take on just a regular consumer, a regular guy review about the pluses and minuses and what I think about the bike as a whole. Man, it is crosswindy today. Sorry, it's blowing me all over the place. But on further being at the ride and all that stuff, after got back home, I was talking to Cave Troll and Anthony Robinson about it. We're on Google Hangouts discussing it. And apparently what it says on Yamaha's website about the demo ride stuff, it said on there, due to the increase in cell phone videos, no recording devices are allowed. Okay, so I get that any recording device, any of it is considered a recording device, whether it's a phone, a GoPro, a Prism, a Ghost Drift, whatever. But I'm not endangering myself by trying to video a ride from a cell phone and endangering others. I put a GoPro on my helmet and I talk about what I think about the ride, just like I'm doing now. I'm not new at this. I'm not a inexperienced rider. I don't consider myself being an expert, but I'm definitely not a beginner, that's for sure. Probably more like an intermediate. But I've been doing this a couple years now, the whole vlog thing, and I've gotten the hang of it, I will admit, much more than what I did at first. At first, it was a little nerve-wracking to try to do and ride all at the same time. It still is in some points in traffic and stuff, but I pretty much got used to that because I'm more comfortable riding and I don't get as worried about morons out there on the road. But my concern is, like I said, Yamaha's missing out on free advertising, right? I don't do the first ride reviews for the views or the exposure or to get more subscribers, anything like that. I do that so maybe somebody who's interested in buying a bike, they can watch a couple different reviews from regular guys like me after they watch the press stuff, the guys that get paid for that stuff, which in my opinion, motorcycle.com does a really good job on the reviews, but let's be honest, that's their job, that's what they get paid to do. So if there are some negatives and some really bad negatives about the bike, I feel like that they're not going to be totally honest, because if they completely, just slander that particular manufacturer, then guess what? They might not get to review that whole brand as a whole. Not just that other kind of bike in particular, but that whole brand as a whole. If they're really honest with their review, in my opinion. I have seen, motorcycle.com's reviews about stuff, and they're pretty honest, but are they as honest as a regular person like me? Maybe not. I don't know. That's a tough one to call, but that's just my opinion, I enjoy Yamaha's products. I think they do a fantastic job with all their demo days. Everybody's very professional and all that stuff, but I think that's being a little too nitpicky, in my opinion. I'm not putting a GoPro on my helmet to go out there and do hooligan stuff and mistreat their bikes or disrespect them or anything like that. I'm just doing it for one, like I said, so some of my subscribers, or some people that aren't even my subscribers, they might search on YouTube a certain particular bike, and they might find one of my reviews, and I might help them to steer them along the way to maybe go ride one for themselves, or maybe read some other written reviews about it, or just whatever. I enjoy motorcycling. This is my hobby. Well, my only hobby, really, other than maybe playing video games a little bit. But this is the main thing that I enjoy doing. So I feel like my reviews are more, like I said, are more kind of more honest, so to speak. I could be wrong. There's people who might argue that opinion, and that's okay. Everybody has their opinion just like I do. But it kind of irks me a little bit because, one, what if somebody's not a motovlogger like me? What if they're not putting this up on YouTube? What if they're just doing it for their own comparison? They may ride 5 different bikes in one category, and they may use their video, whatever kind of video they're using, like I said, GoPro, Drift, Prism, 10C, whatever. They may use their video to help narrow their search down and go back over that on their own time and not even upload it to YouTube, and use that to maybe steer them in their buying decision, because they might not remember everything in their head, what they liked, what they didn't like, what they would want to maybe see on a different bike versus the other, just whatever in comparison. So like I said, I'm not hating on Yamaha. I think they're missing out on, one, free advertising, and two, people that may want to film it, and they might steer them off, and they might not demo it at all. They might go to another whole manufacturer that'll actually let them film it. It might make them mad on even buying products or even thinking about Yamaha for that reason. You know, like I said, if people do something stupid, also on the review, like I've seen on YouTube, if somebody does something stupid, let's say like some of the BMWs I've test rode, I've got to test road those on my own, just like the Harley video, with no guide, no follower, no nothing. And if something happens while I'm doing a review and I have an accident that's not my fault, well, that video is evidence to, oh God, stupid car, oh, sorry. But that video is proof on that they weren't at fault, and that could be held up in a court of law or in a court, or, you know, just between the manufacturer who let them do it or the dealer and that person to say, look, it's not my fault, this is what happened. And, you know, the video itself could be used just for that only, just to make sure, you know, look, I didn't do anything stupid, I didn't do anything wrong, maybe something went wrong with the bike, it's not my fault, somebody ran a red light and hit me, you know, just whatever. There's multiple variances, I think, that the video being allowed, you know, could really help. So that's my take on it. I don't mean to hate on Yamaha. I still love their products. I'm still going to have an FJR one of these days. But now I'll go on to the bikes I rode. One is the FJR. Everybody that watches my channel regularly knows that I rode it once last year and absolutely fell in love with it. And after riding it again, it really got me thinking in my head to really buckle down and try to save as much money possible in the next, you know, year and a half or so, 2 years, to be able to obtain one virtually debt-free, I hope. Because I'd like to have a new one, but I don't know about brand new. We'll just have to see what my budget allows when that time arises, when I get close to purchasing. But the FJR, this is kind of a debrief on some of the rides here. Sorry if I'm getting a little long-winded. FJR is a fantastic motorcycle. It's, you know, for a 645-pound bike with a full tank of fuel, the ES model that I rode, it's just butter smooth. There's no vibration, hardly felt at all, especially if you keep it kind of more on the, you know, touring revs, say 5,000 below. I rode it mostly in touring just because I'm not used to that amount of power. You know, FJR makes 150 horse and like 108 foot-pounds. So even though it is a heavy bike, it definitely has a lot of power. My bike here, my FC6, is no slouch. You know, it's over a little over 100 horsepower from the factory. So I'm used to a bike with quite a bit of power, but not like that. I used it mostly in touring mode. It just butter smooth, just roll on, just, you know, took all the kind of, you know, the harshness like that out of any mishaps I would have done, just because I wasn't used to the throttle response and that big of a motor on that type of bike. But that really helped a lot. The brakes are fantastic. It is a little heavy going at slow speeds, but it's nothing nowhere near some of the heavier bikes I've ridden. It wouldn't really, in my opinion, take that much getting used to. You know, the riding position's super comfortable. All the electronic stuff works well. The brakes are fantastic. Like, just, I mean, like, your eyeballs pop out of your head. Good. Under an emergency situation. That I will attest to that because I had a dog run out in front of me on the first test ride. So, I really can't say anything bad about it, you know, and I will have one of these days. Ride's good, handles well. For such a big bike, it really changes direction, like on an S-turn from side to side. Really tracks through a corner well. It really wants to dip in and hold that line. And can't say anything negative about it, really. The Tracer GT I rode. Another fantastic product by Yamaha. You know, I rode something similar to it. Let's just stay behind this car, I guess. I rode something... No, I'm not. I rode something similar to it middle of the summer last year, the FJ09. Well, now the FJ09 is replaced by the Tracer. The Tracer GT, which is a touring model, which is what I rode, has tons of updates and improvements to it to kind of make it that middle of the road price range, you know, sport touring bike, that 12 to 13,000 thing. a couple things that I really noticed, key things that are really awesome for the class it's intended for. The windshield adjustment can be done on the fly. It's like a Multistrada. There's a little button up here and you press it up. It only has two positions, fully up and fully down, but it really makes a big difference on up and down. But the one I rode, since it was a touring one, Yamaha had fitted the Yamaha touring windscreen to it. But most of the people are going to put a taller windshield on that, in my opinion. Windshields are like seats. Everybody has their own different take on it. But if you're really going to do a lot of touring on it, that touring windshield and the up position works fantastic. Wind protection's really good. Wind protection's almost as good as the FJR with the windshield all the way up. It's close, but it's not quite there, but it's definitely, it definitely works well, that's for sure. The riding position on the new Tracer has been tweaked a little bit. The bars are not so much of a bend up, so your arms aren't as so up high, a little down lower. The bars are narrower than what they previous were. Bike center of gravity super low. I think that bike weighs right at 500 pounds, and it does not feel like it all. Wears its weight real low. Really good brakes. They made some suspension tweaks to it, and a main suspension tweak they made to it is they made the rear swing arm longer, and that just helps more travel and, more of a pivot point. And it really, although we weren't really riding on a super rough road, it did have some rough sections on it, and it did real well soak up all the bumps without feeling floaty at all. Another big thing that Yamaha's done to that one, since it's considered a more touring one, it has pretty much all the boxes that everybody would put on it if it didn't already come with that. It comes in the factory with heated grips that works through the all the controls that are integrated, just like the FJR. It comes with cruise control, which for a bike in that class is not a lot of the other bikes, like the Versys 1000. It's not even an option, which is a plus for Yamaha, just many different things that really make it, that took the FJ09 to just that much more, a little better bike. New TFT display, full color, same one from the R1 and the FC10. It's a little small, and some of the numbers are kind of hard to read, but overall it's pretty good. And it's a great motorcycle. Comes with hard painted saddlebags. They're the smaller ones in the FJR, but they would hold a weekend worth of stuff, and I think they're a 22 liter or something like that. But overall, the bike's